My mom passed away when I was a relatively young adult. Failing to reach her on the phone, I went to her house to check on her and tragically discovered her lifeless body. My mom's sister and I have always shared a close bond. When she came to town for the funeral, we decided to spend a few nights at my mother's home to feel a connection with her and be surrounded by her belongings. We sat in the living room with her beloved cat, the same one that had curled around her head when I found her. As we reminisced about her life, our conversation delved into deeper emotions, leading both of us to tears as we hoped she had found peace. Suddenly, the cat, seated between us, leaped up and began hissing at the fireplace. Startled, we witnessed the flue to the fireplace slam shut with a loud bang, sending shivers down our spines. To our dismay, we then heard footsteps above us in her bedroom, the very room where she had passed away. The unsettling experience left us and the cat far from comforted. My mom had taken her own life, grappling with despondency after my dad's death. She was the type of person who never wanted pity from others. Reflecting on her life in such a personal manner might have angered her, we thought. The unease continued as I cleaned out her house. On one occasion, while my then 8-year-old son and I were packing boxes, her bedroom door suddenly slammed shut. It was a pleasant day, and there were no open windows or doors. Looking at me, my son asked, "Why is Granny so sad?" This murder mystery took a spectral turn into a ghost story. In the early 1900s, in Weatherford, Oklahoma, Katie DeWitt James left her home with her baby following a divorce filing. Her plan was to move in with her cousin, but she mysteriously disappeared, and her family lost contact with her. Subsequent investigations revealed that she had chosen to live with a local prostitute named Franny Norton. The last time Katie was seen, she was leaving Franny's house with her child in a carriage. However, when Franny returned, the child was covered in blood, and Katie was nowhere to be found. Katie's lifeless body was later discovered along a nearby creek, her head severed. Rumors circulated that her ex-husband orchestrated her murder with Franny's assistance, but Franny insisted she was innocent of any involvement in Katie's death. As the police were set to question Franny, she took her own life by poisoning herself. Despite Franny's demise, Katie's spirit appears to linger. Locals claim to witness her presence as a blue light floating around town, and there have been reports of a spectral woman searching for her baby, accompanied by the eerie sound of rolling wheels. I visited the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, a place with over a century of history, originally built as a posh retreat for the wealthy seeking solitude in the mountains. As time passed, the Grand Hotel faced a decline in occupancy, and by the 1970s, it had fallen into disrepair. It was during this period that the renowned author Stephen King spent a night there and found inspiration to write the book, The Shining. The subsequent success of the book and blockbuster film played a crucial role in restoring the Stanley to its former glory. Nowadays, hordes of guests visit to witness the hotel that served as the muse for one of the most terrifying horror movies ever made. Given its rich history, it's not surprising that numerous visitors report strange occurrences. Hearing about the ghostly rumors, I, a Texas resident named Henry Yao, booked a last-minute getaway in April of 2016 to check it out. Upon arrival, I enjoyed dinner and then wandered around the Stanley, capturing photos. Pausing at the staircase, I waited for the area to clear before taking a casual picture, not thinking much of it. Later that night, however, I fell seriously ill. I felt really sick. I had the shivers. I was like, something's really wrong. My companion suggested the emergency room, but I refused. On the journey home, I scrolled through the photos I'd taken and discovered what I considered a really strange image of someone standing on the stairs. Except there was no one there. The next day, I posted the photo on Instagram, half-jokingly claiming to have captured a ghost, and suddenly, the world took notice. Overnight, I found myself in the limelight, with my ghost picture gaining attention from global media outlets and paranormal experts eager to examine the photo. Some experts say that there's 2 ghosts, And other people said that the reason I got sick is because the ghost was trying to materialize, taking energy out of me, I shared. There's so many theories about this, and as for my own thoughts on the matter, I have no idea, I said with a laugh. I, a resident of Dayton, Ohio, was driving with my 3-year-old son Miles in the back seat when we passed by a modest cemetery adorned with flowers and small plaques. It basically looks like a giant garden, I explained on Monsters Among Us. As we drove by, my toddler, who'd been happily singing, suddenly stopped, pointed to the cemetery and exclaimed, "Look at all those people." I turned to look but saw no one. Confused, I asked Miles what he was talking about. "All those people over there," he replied. "There sure are a lot of grandmas." Chills ran down my spine as I asked Miles what the people were doing. "They're all standing there, looking down at the grass," he said. Completely unsettled by the conversation, I sped up and drove home. Later that same day, Miles was watching TV when he turned to me and said, "You know, they weren't alive." Thinking he was referring to the cartoon, I asked what he meant. "Those people we saw, they were all paused," he replied. "I don't know if my kid has the sixth sense," I said, "or if he just has a wild imagination.